Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Moxie and Fernape, and this is my team builder and battle for Week 2 of Season 8 of the National Pokeball League. So as you can see, I have a different background behind me. That is because I have moved rooms, at least temporarily, due to housing complications. I'll say, just to leave it at that. If you need to know, you know. And I'm playing Merc this week, as I think I said. Did I say that earlier? I don't know. But I'm playing Merc and his San Francisco Regigiants. So if you did not catch my battle last week versus Regulator, I will leave that down below. It was a good game, so make sure to check that out. I won't spoil immediately, but I will mention it soon. So if you want to watch that and don't want to get spoiled, do that now. I'm playing Merc. He is 1-0, and I am also 1-0. I won last week versus Greg. So Merc, I think, has a slightly higher differential than me, but that's not a huge deal right now because it's only 1 week into the season. So his team is pretty scary. It's very fat, very annoying, but I think I have devised a good team to break it and to deal with it well. So his team, I will read it and put it on screen with a proper screenshot, is Tapu Lele, Zapdos, Heatran, Kartana, Alomomola, Mega Venusaur, Aerodactyl, Umbreon, Dugtrio, and Throw, Z, Aerodactyl, and Z, Dugtrio. So very annoying team, a mix of a lot of fat stuff with Zapdos, Tran, Aloe, Venu, Umbreon, and then just fast offense that my team does have some issues dealing with, such as Lele, Kartana, and Dugtrio mainly. And then Aerodactyl to an extent, but I have some checks to Aero. At least naturally, it's not quite as hard to deal with as Kartana. Like Kartana, just with the Grass and Steel, this dual stab mixed with the coverage it gets, makes it very tricky for my team. Annoying. I do have, I think, 3 or 4 ground weaknesses. So Dugtrio is pretty annoying as it can trap Mons, and
really, Dugtrio plus Cart is very good, as my main checks to Cart are something like Infernape and Metagross, and then maybe even Quillfish, I suppose, which Dugtrio can trap all of. Well, I mean, not really Quillfish. It can check Cart to an extent, I guess, because, I mean, Intimidate. But mainly focusing on the former two, Dugtrio can trap those, and that is annoying and bad. And Lele is also just scary and hard to deal with, and hits very hard and has the terrain, which also blocks my priority, which isn't a huge issue, but it does block my backing waves from Ape onto Kartana, as well as Bullet Punch from Metagross. So the Psychic Terrain could be annoying this game, but I do have my Mew to at least take a bit of advantage of that, if that opportunity does arise. But let me just get into my team here. So first off, we have the win condition, my Infernape here. So Vacuum Wave, Flamethrower, Focus Blast, and Nasty Plot holding the Fiery MZ. This Mon has enough speed for the Lele. I don't think I need enough for Zapdos. I don't think he'll be running max speed Timid, and I think I should be able to outspeed that regardless. I mean, if he's creeping anything, he'll probably be creeping Crocodile. I don't think he's going to run and go max speed for Mew. I mean, he could, but even then, I can still maybe take it if I need to. So Flamethrower, Focus Blast, just good dual stab to hit everything on his team. I don't want to have to carry Focus Blast, but I think I do because I need the power for Alomomola mainly, as well as Heatran. Really just those two. I mean, I guess Umbreon too. So I think I need the power from Focus Blast, and I'm not running Z, or the Fight Tinium Z, because I like Fire MZ to allow me to hit Mega Venusaur, Zapdos, Lele with a Z Flamethrower, because I feel like that is more likely to be needed than a Z Focus Blast. So that's my reasoning there. Then Vacuum Wave is really nice priority to hit mainly Kartana, as well as potentially Dugtrio or even Aerodactyl, and try to pick those guys off. And really just those 3 is what I'm going to need. Vacuum Wave for, unless if there are any other surprise Scarfers, like maybe a Scarf Treat, maybe a Scarf Heatran. That's about it. The reason I'm special over Physical this week, and if I was Physical, I'd be able to carry Close Combat over Focus Blast, which is a lot more reliable. But I'm special mainly because of Kartana. I want to be able to hit that with a priority Vacuum Wave, not a priority Mach Punch, because its defense is significantly higher than its Spadaf. Its Spadaf is like 40, like base 40 or something terrible. Its defense is like base 130, I think. So a very big difference. So I like the special priority there. So this is my win con. Fair amount of bulk too, which allows me to take some hits, and also I might even be able to pass some boosts from my Mew here. So Calm Mind, Root Psychic, and the Baton Pass. So this Mew is pretty nice, as it can Calm Mind and set up versus a fair amount of his walls, and maybe even pass from the Ape or potentially a couple other Mons, or even just set up and sweep itself, or at least just tear some holes in his team and make a big dent in his team, just with Mew, because
Umbreon is there, so Mono's Psychic isn't the best versus his team, but I don't think Umbreon comes, mainly because of Infernape. Initially in this matchup, I was kind of scared of the Umbreon, but as I looked at it more, Infernape's just such a big threat to his team, and I don't think he wants to bring Umbreon, mainly because of Ape. And then outside of that, Umbreon's actually pretty viable in this matchup, but still feel like Infernape is just really good versus his team, and he doesn't want to bring Umbreon, which just allows Ape to come in and can be set up fodder for Ape, which makes his team potentially just vulnerable to being swept. So that's not good. So I think Umbreon is not necessarily going to come, but even if it does, I can still take less than half from Foul Play, so I can set up Calm Minds and then pass them into a multitude of options on my team. So I like the Calm Mind B-Pass, and then Psychic. I would have liked to go Psy Shock, that way I can deal with a Calm Mind Lele a little bit better, but I need Psychic again for the Kartana, because that thing's Spadef is significantly lower than its Fizdef, so I need to be able to hit on the special side. So the EV spread on Mew, just a bit of speed, just in case of any creeps. I don't think there's anything specific in mind there. I want to be very fat. The Spadef and HP investment with my leftovers lost me to, I think, guaranteed to take, I think it was 2 specs Moonblast from Timid Lele. I believe that's what I was investing for, as well as I can take 2 Life Orb Shadow Balls from Lele. I don't know if I can take 2 spec Shadow Balls. Maybe I was investing for that. But this is a very fat Mew. It can be a comfortable switching to Lele, as well as it can chew hits from Zapdos, Heatran, Mega Venusaur. Really, everything on his team, this thing can chew hits from barring Kartana, and then maybe like a Z move from Dugtrio or Aerodactyl. It doesn't chew, but it can still just take hits very well. And then just a bit of defense and special attack. I forget if they had anything specific in mind there. They might have. I think the special attack might have allowed me to 2-KO Kartana. I think. I forget exactly, but this might have just been arbitrary. Might have had some specific purpose. I forget. Next we got Mega Pidgeot, which is just pretty much max speed, just to make sure I outspeed Dugtrio. He probably would be creeping Whimsicott, maybe Zygarde, if he brings it, but I still just want to make sure I outspeed that, because I don't want him getting off a sneaky Stone Edge and outspeeding me, because I want to at least get confirmation that he is Scarfed if he does outspeed me. So this moveset's pretty interesting: Hurricane, Toxic, Hidden Fire Water, and U-Turn. So Hurricane, just good stab, hits everything. He does have a pretty nice switching in Zapdos, that's why I have Toxic, as well as for Alomomola. This thing is nice to pressure the Mega Venusaur, as just having good ways to hit Mega Venu for good hard damage is not too common in League format, and this is a good check to that, to at least give me something to hit hard. Hidden Power Water is kind of interesting. I could get Hidden Power Ground for Heatran. He could be Shuka or Air Balloon. I mean, I can break Balloon with Hurricane, I suppose. But I like Hidden Power Water because that allows me to also hit Aerodactyl, which is also a fairly likely switch in if he brings that. That can just pivot out versus things like Zapdos and Alomomola. Hopefully not get staticked by Zapdos. And U-Turn's pretty safe, especially if I'm in against something that I know is going to switch out, like Venusaur. So it's just pretty safe, because he has a multitude of things he could switch into, like Zapdos, Heatran, Aerodactyl, maybe Alomomola, but I mean, that thing does not want to take a Hurricane super well. So just a pretty standard EV spread. Moveset is not super standard, but has reasoning and makes sense. So there's Mega Pidgeot for you. And really, this whole team is made just to get Ape in a position to win, and Ape doesn't need too much support, honestly. One big thing that can help, obviously, that I said earlier, is passing stats from Mew into Ape. Could be really helpful. I could pass like a Calm Mind or 2, which could allow me to set up a Nasty Plot if I need to, or maybe I won't even need to do that, and I can just win with like a +1 or +2 from Calm Mind. And Ape just does really well. I just need to make sure that the terrain's not up, because one thing that happened in one of my mocks is I was in a spot to win. I had the setups I needed, but he brought in Lele, sacked it off, and then he had Kartana in the terrain, which outsped me and was going to be able to OHKO me. And I could not use my vacuum mage because of the terrain. So I'm going to need to make sure I have my checks to Cart and Lele around and have some kind of answer to both of them, just so that I don't get swept by either, and that Ape can, so that I can at least get rid of one of them, so that Ape can sweep from that point on. Next, we got my Metagross here holding a Colbur Berry with Zen Headbutt, Iron Head, Hammer Arm, and Bullet Punch. I wanted Stealth Rocks on those really badly, but I think I need all 4 moves. So Zen just gives me something to hit Mega Venusaur, because I feel like I don't want to not be able to hit Venu. In hindsight, maybe I didn't need Zen, but also allows me to hit Aloe for decent damage. I still don't 2KO it. I don't even get close, because Aloe is fat. But I can still do decent damage and at least chip it down, which might be more than I need. Or might be fine, might be able to just do the job, because I just need some chip for Ape, because Ape does, with a +2 Focus Blast, I think, it does After rocks, I think it's a roll to kill, so I just need a bit of chip on Aloe just to make sure +2 focus blast from Ape can kill. Obviously he can switch, get the regen, but still I can do a good chunk to him there. With Zen Headbutt, and then Iron Head, I need it for Lele. I don't need Meteor Mash because honestly, Lele and Aerodactyl will be the only things I click my powerful Steel Stab against, and like everything else I have either Zen or Hammer Arm to click. So like I really don't need Meteor Mash. I don't need to miss like Iron Head, Oko's Lele either way, so it's fine. Hammer Arm is just to give me some coverage to hit Kartana, to hit Heatran, and hit Umbreon for some pretty good damage. It hits all three, which is nice. I mean, I could carry Earthquake just to hit Heatran, but then I can't really hit Kartana too well. Could carry him Power Fire to hit Kartana, then I can't hit Heatran. So I feel like this moveset was a good compromise to allow me to hit both, as well as hit Umbreon for some decent damage. I don't think quite a 2KO, but still allows me to pressure it and not let it switch in for free. And then Bullet Punch is, in case if Lele's still there and Terrain's gone, like if he's a Calm Mindset, because I don't really have any fast physical attackers to check it. Like I have Mega Pidgeot and 8, which outspeed it, but they're both special, so if it has Calm Mind boosts, they're not great checks, so I do want to make sure I have Bullet Punch just in case of that. As well as, I'm not Shuka anymore. I was Shuka for most of the time when I had this team, but I changed towards the end to put Colbur because Kartana was just such a threat. And Bullet Punch still will, I think, 2KO the Dugtrio, so I'm alright with that. And I think I can live in Earthquake as long as it's not a Z Earthquake. Or maybe Bandit. I think Bandit Okos. But I'm a pretty bulky Metagross. I think the bulk, I'm trying to think what it was for. It's something with Kartana. I think so. I think so I can live a knockoff plus a... I think it's... No, so I could live a knockoff plus a no item knockoff, maybe? It might have been that. But if... No, because that does not even do 100. I'm trying to think of what it was. It was something with Kartana. Maybe so I could live like a +2 Life Orb knockoff, something like that. I forget exactly, but yeah, this is just a fat Metagross, or fairly fat. It can take a hit from Kartana, as well as, I mean, take a hit from Lele if I need to. But I probably want Mew doing that, because Shadow Ball still does a lot. And then the speed is just to creep Heatran, like if he's creeping, I think that's it. I forget exactly what I need to write this stuff down, but that's if he's creeping like my Lodic or something, or Quillfish, then I'm creeping him, I think. So I have a fair amount of speed to it, so I can hopefully outspeed Heatran. I forget exactly what it was for. I think it's for what I said, but it might be wrong. I really need to write notes. I think for the following weeks I will have notes. I'm doing notes as in team building now, so I can at least be more confident in things that I'm saying, why I have my certain EV spreads the way that I have them, because I do have a reasoning for almost all of the things that I do, just I forget it sometimes. But yeah, this is a pretty fast Metagross to allow me to outspeed Heatran, hopefully, and then fair amount of bulk and still a little bit of offense and Adamant. Next, we got my Crocodile here, which is enough speed for the... Zapdos? I'm blanking out what this is for. Enough speed for... I think no, it's for max speed Tim and Heatran, that's it. Just to make sure I outspeed Heatran, because I need to make sure I have a check to that in case be some weird speedy Heatran. I want to make sure I outspeed that, so that's what that speed is for. And then just max attack and Adamant last me hit pretty hard. I don't quite 2KO Mega Venusaur or Aloe because they are both fat, but I can still do a good chunk and chip them down. I originally had Taunt, and I wanted to keep Taunt, but I think I like Stealth Rock on here. I don't really expect to get up Stealth Rocks, honestly, but if I find the opportunity, I will try to get them up. EQ, Stone Edge Knockoff, just nice dual stab and coverage to allow me to hit most of the stuff on his team. I wanted Fire Fang, and I had that originally for Kartana, but I thought, you know what, I can still just do a good chunk with Knockoff or Earthquake, and then that puts it in range of like a Hammer Arm from Metagross or a Psychic from Mew, so that's fine. Like I don't need to carry Fire Fang to Oko the Kartana. Originally I was also very fat to take like a +2 hit from Kartana, but I don't really want the bulk, because I want to be able to hit hard with my Croc here, so I think the offense is nice, just allowing me to pressure his walls a bit more. And this is a decent Zapdos check. Stone Edge allows me to hit that, as well as allows me to hit Aerodactyl. I mean, I have knockoff, but still, Stone Edge is mainly just to pressure these Zapdos. And then Rindo is for the Kartana, obviously, just so that just so that I'm not forced out, really. So I can stay in if I want to, and I can get off a good amount of damage with an Earthquake or a knockoff, so that's the idea there. And last slot, we have my Electros, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Volt Switch, and Thunder. The reason I have 3 electric moves out of my 4 slots is, most of the time I'm just clicking Volt Switch, maybe Thunderbolt, because his ground type is Dugtrio, which is not a very good switch into Eel, especially concerning the coverage I get, considering I could carry U-turn, and even then he can't even really do much to me. He can maybe go for a Stone Edge, maybe a Z Stone Edge, but probably just the Earthquake. So I don't think Dugtrio is a very good switch-in if he brings it. So I can just get off almost free Volt Switches, which is really nice, and I have the specs to allow me to get some power on this, because earlier I was Assault Vest on this, and I found I had trouble pressuring Zapdos and damaging it super hard. So carrying a specs allows me to get off a slow Volt Switch to do a lot to that and keep it pretty low, and then I can bring in like Infernape or a Crocodile to pressure that and to hopefully scare him out and keep him pretty low, which allows me just to keep Zapdos low, which is part of my plan. Hopefully Ape won't have to blow its Z move on that, because I might need to use it for like maybe Venusaur or maybe even Lele. So if I can just keep Zapdos low, that'd be really nice, because when Zapdos is healthy, my team has some trouble dealing with it. I do have Mew, but that thing does get toxic, and like if I'm, well, so does Aloe. So if one of them toxic to Mew, then that Pokemon will get toxic, but I can't toxic both of them from Synchronize. So that's why toxicking Zapdos and Aloe could be a little bit troublesome. And this thing also is just a good switch into Aloe and can pressure that and just Volt Switch. Thunder is there in case if I need extra power for Zapdos, and if I don't expect him to roost, and I think he's like, it does, I think, 65-70%, so if he's like a bit weakened, then I can just plop a Thunder and hopefully knock him out if he's just trying to go for a Toxic or like a Signal Beam or something versus me. Then I can just hopefully plop him with a Thunder, hopefully land, and just kill him, which would be awesome, because Zapdos is very annoying to face, and if I can just get rid of Zapdos as early as I can, that is really nice, because that opens the door for my Mega Pidgeot to do more work, as well as my Metagross to be a little more threatening, and then Crocodile is less pressured, and then it's just better for the whole team. I think it's just a nice mon to pressure these Zapdos. That's the idea with specs, and yeah, that is the team there. So really the win con is Ape. Get Ape in the position to win. Hopefully I can get up a Nasty Plot. Maybe I just pass in Calm Minds. But if I don't pass it into Ape, I can pass it into Pidgeot or even into Eel too. Probably not Eel, because I probably just want to Volt Switch. But if I have a Calm Mind or two with a Specs Thunderbolt, whew, that is scary. But yeah, so this is the team. Ape is the win con. And the lead's going to be Eel most of the time, because just Volt Switch and damage. And yeah, that's the team. Hopefully you guys like it. I think it was a pretty nice team. And let's get into the battle. Alright guys, so I am back with the battle, as you can see here. So I brought these 6 that I just went over, being my Infernape, Mew, Mega Pidgeot, Metagross, Crocodile, and Electros, as Men Who Meet, which is Merc, brings the Tapu Lele, Alomola, Zapdos, Kartana, Mega Venusaur, and Heatran. So nothing super unexpected. Really the only thing that would have shocked me is Throw. I just didn't think Throw was coming. Umbreon would have been maybe a little shocking. I was hoping it wouldn't come, because honestly my team wasn't prepped for it super well. I think I could have still dealt with it, but it would have just been annoying and been a nuisance. So I'm glad to not see that. Dugtrio was kind of shocked not to see. I thought it might come, but these 6 do make sense, and I think this was actually a good team on his end. So I not like questioning that he didn't bring Dugtrio, just thought he might bring it. But my lead, as I said in the team builder, was most likely going to be Eel, and it was Eel. So I'm just going to lead with that. And my specs Electros here. So I see no reason not to Volt Switch. He does not even have his Dugtrio at all, so just Volt Switch, and we do a lot. So this damage that he got on me and that I got on him shows that he is pretty offensive, and I think it showed that he was modest and probably max special attack, and looks like no bulk, or very, very, very little bulk. Everyone in the chat was really shocked to see that my Eel did this much. Eel should not be doing 58 to Zapdos, but it did. So I'm just going to bring in my Ape right here so I can pressure this thing out. I'm going to go hard for a Flamethrower. Or no, I'm not. Right, sorry. Words. So that was the obvious play, to go right for the Flamethrower and knock that thing. Or Fire Blast, because that's what people usually run, but that's a bad move, so I don't run that. So I went for hard for the Focus Blast, because I thought Aloe would come in. Maybe Heatran predicting that, but probably Aloe on the Focus Blast. So that does a lot, showing that he looks to be physically defensive. I think around max HP, or a good amount of HP. So I could go for another Focus Blast and knock this thing out. I thought he would switch into Lele, so I actually go for the Flamethrower, and yeah, it's kind of overpredict, but I mean, I probably wouldn't have even hit that Focus Blast anyways, so yeah. It's alright. So he actually stays in and goes through Liquidation, so that was a cute tech, not Scald, so we can actually do a good amount of damage. So what really sucks about this roll is he did 66.5, and I am Blaze, so if that did 1 more HP, I would be, I think, at 33 or 33.2. So I would be in blaze range if he did one more HP, one more hit point. But nope, that's alright. So if I can bring this in on rocks later, or in on any chip from something, I can be in blaze, which could be really helpful in doing damage. So here I'm just gonna go right for the focus blast because I want to knock this thing out if he's giving me the chance. But now he goes in Lele, of course. So we do land. We do a little bit. Looks like he's offensive. So good to get that information. This was a really tough play for me. I thought he might go into Heatran, so I was debating. So yeah, I went for that, thinking he might go into Heatran. I was debating clicking a Flamethrower because, well, actually, yeah, now Flamethrower would have knocked out the Aloe at that point. So I could have just gone for that pretty safely, and I would have done a good chunk to Lele too. But he could have gone into Heatran, which would have been annoying, and I would not have knocked him out with a Focus Blast most likely. And he could have gotten up his rocks or just been annoying and done even more with Magma Storm if he had the Flash Fire boost. So I don't think I made a bad play. It was kind of a 50-50, and you know I lost that one. It's alright though. There was logic behind the play I made, and I had some reasoning. It's just kind of tough call if you go into Lele or Heatran. And Heatran, well, I could get off a lot of damage on it. He could also just Earth Power or Magma Storm and knock out my win con, so I didn't want that either. So I'm going to switch here as I want to keep Ape around, and I'm going to go right into Mew as he goes for Shadow Ball and gets a Spadef drop, which really sucks. So we see that he's Life Orb, so I have Lefty, so if he did not get the Spadef drop, I would have been able to live another hit, which means I could have just roosted off the damage. So we could have played a little stally game, and you know, he keeps going for Shadow Balls, I keep roosting, but he'll lose some of his health due to Life Orb. And I mean, eventually he could get a crit or a Spadef drop, but you know, he'll be losing his health due to Life Orb. So I would hope that it would take at least 2 Shadow Balls to where he'd get a crit or Spadef drop. So you know, I could lower him even more. But he gets on the first one, which is, I think, a 20% chance, so not ridiculous, but unfortunate. So this means I have to sack something, because, I mean, I could go to Metagross, but a Moonblast plus Shadow Ball kills, and I think you're going to click Moonblast here, because a -1, Moonblast knocks out Mew. So I look at all my options and what I think I need, and I think in hindsight, I actually should have just sacked off Mew here, because I don't need Mew for anything. It is nice to pressure Venusaur, but I actually end up sacking off my Eel. And Eel could have been nice to allow me to pressure the Zapdos more. I mean, Zapdos is kind of low and doesn't seem super offensive. So, not exactly certain on the Zapdos spread, but seems like he's pretty speedy, pretty offensive. But so my Eel could have been nice to check some things and allow me to get some good damage on Heatran, which I could have needed. And Mew couldn't hit Heatran super hard, and Mew, it was nice to maybe pass some Calm Minds into Ape, but Ape was also kind of low, so, and most of his team was slower than Mew, so that means if I was passing my stat boost into Mew, or into Infernape would probably have to take a hit too, which means it'd be tougher for me to pass into Ape, so I could have sacked off Mew there. I think either way it would have been a kind of tough play to make, just because I didn't want to have to sack off anything there, but I kind of did. So that was unfortunate that he got the Spadef drop, but I mean, it happens. It's 20%, it's not like ridiculously low, so I can't be too upset. So I'm going to bring in my Crook here, and my Crook is not that fast. It's like, I think 172 or something around there, and Adamant, so not enough to outspeed Lele, unless he doesn't have much speed, but it seems like he does. And I'm not Scarfed, so I am whipping out my balls here, and I am bluffing the Scarf. And the crazy thing about this play, or the thing that made this more pressurous, I think it's a word, on me at the time, or made it more intense, I guess, was that I had to bring this thing in quickly to effectively bluff. Because the more I wait, the less confident I seem in my play, and the less time I take, the more confident I seem. So I brought this thing in pretty quickly, like within 10 seconds, to really bluff. So I'm thinking he's gonna want to switch. He wants to keep Lele around. I could just knock him out with a knockoff. So he does switch as I go for rocks, and I'm gonna switch out to keep this. Well, one, because I don't even want Croak taking hit, but also two, it allows me to keep this Scarf bluff around in his head. So I got up rocks, which is nice to help me pressure Zapdos, keep that low, and nice just to get Chip on his team. And I made a very, very bold bluff there. If he just clicked Moonblast, that would have actually been terrible, but I didn't think he was going to. I think I asserted enough confidence that I seemed like I was Scarfed, and I think it was his best play to switch out based on the scenario. So I think he made the smart play. but I was just able to catch him with a bluff there. So in comes my Metagross on his Venusaur, as he does just click Leech Seed, which is annoying. So I'm going to double into Crocodile, predicting the Tran to come in on an expected Zen Head, but I actually get that right, which is awesome. So I'm just going to click Earthquake. It's a pretty safe Earthquake, pretty free. No, I don't. Never mind. That's later in the game. I wanted to do that, but I thought you would go back into Venu, so I went into Mew, and you actually just protected to Scout, which makes sense. So this is a little bit tricky right here. I'm going to B-Pass to try to, maybe if you want to switch, which I don't think you would, but maybe if you want to Scout for like Earth Power or Earthquake, then I can get off a B-Pass. But he actually just Toxic, and he outspeeds me, which shows that he has a lot of speed. My Mew doesn't have much speed at all, but still shows he has a significant amount of speed on its Heatran to outspeed my Mew. The Synchronized doesn't work because he's a Steel type, so that's pretty annoying. So Mew is Toxic, which means it's really not going to be doing too much. It can still Calm Mind and pass into maybe Ape or Pidgeot, but still Mew's going to be less effective and not very good at beating his walls like Aloe, Venu, and Zapdos. I don't really know if Zapdos is a wall. I don't know exactly what this thing's spread is, but it doesn't seem too defensive. Anyways, I'm going to bring my Croak right here so I can just click Earthquake. This is a free Earthquake that I mentioned before. A relatively safe, or not free, but safe. As I do not a lot to Venu, showing he appears to be max Fizz Def, which shows no speed, probably no Spidef, or very little Spidef, so I'm right with that. So I'm going to bring my Pidgeot, just go hard into Pidge, as he does just decide to heal there, which makes sense. Keeps everything healthy, do not get too killed later. I'm just going to go for the Hidden Power Water. I thought he'd go hard and do into Heatran. I don't know exactly what he's going into Aloe for. I guess he's just sacking it off so he could get a safe switch into Heatran, so he could live in Power Ground, because I think Hidden Power Ground would 2KO him. So I guess that makes some sense, and he didn't want me making a super aggressive play, going straight for Hidden Power Ground, and his Zapdos was not Scarf because we saw leftovers earlier, so I guess he was just sacking it off, which makes some sense. But I mean, I thought he could have used this later, so I'm just going to click Hurricane right now, I think, as he does go into Tran now. I guess he thought I'd click Hurricane, which I did. I get the confusion, but he does not hit himself at all, so spoilers on that, I guess, but whatever. I'm going to click him back. I'd actually get a crit, which is pretty unfortunate for him, but I guess doesn't come into play too much, I'll say. It could have come into play if he hit himself in confusion there, but he did not, so it did not come into play. And I'm getting chipped down by the Magma Storm and by, well, yeah, just by Magma Storm, but he's healing from leftovers, and this is really annoying. So I actually get a crit on the U-turn there, which is kind of funny, but I want to keep this thing around because I want it to be able to pressure the Venusaur. If Zapdos stays low, I can pressure that and kill it. If, I mean, Aloe, I can still just pressure, and if Cortana's not Scarf, which it probably is, but if it's not, I can actually still outspeed that and click Hurricane versus that. And then Lele, I can also click Hurricane versus, so if he does not get at Rocks, then, I mean, my Mega Pidgeot is still valuable in this game, and I'm just going to bring in Mew to sack that off, as he snaps out of the confusion, goes for Magma Storm, does a lot. So here, what do? I think I try to Calm Mind, predicting his Protect, but that doesn't quite work out, as you know, he just goes right for Rocks, and I Calm Mind, that didn't work. And I'm just going to go down to Magma Storm the next turn, I think. As he does land it, so, you know, of course he can't miss one, whatever. So I'm just going to bring in my Croak right here. This is where what do? Do I Earthquake? He protects as I just click Earthquake here. Now here I make, is this where I make the play? Yeah, I make a ballsy play in Ape. I'm not super ballsy, as he's probably going to want to keep Heatran around, as it's still nice to check Pidgeot. I mean, I guess Rocks are up still. I thought he wouldn't go either into Zapdos or Venusaur just because they're pretty safe switch-ins, because I'm most likely just clicking Earthquake right there. So I made a pretty risky double. And I said that's actually really risky, because he could have just stayed in, honestly, because he didn't need Heatran at that point. But I got that right, and I put myself in a position to at least try to get myself back in the game, because Ape can pick off a Zapdos right here, as I'm going to ask you just click Flamethrower and knock it out. So those Rocks are actually really nice, as I am now in Blaze range, which means, depending, it comes down to a roll, but it seems that his Venusaur is a max Fizz Def, so not much Spidef, so I think the roll was from a Z Flamethrower in Blaze range. I do like 84 to 100, and he'll be at 88 after the Rock, so it's more, it's in my favor to knock out the Venusaur with a Fire MZ, with a Inferno Overdrive, so I think he's going to have to bring in Venu right here, because Heatran just goes down to Focus Blast, Aloe goes down to Focus Blast, Lele goes down to Flamethrower because I'm in Blaze now, Cortana goes down to Vacuum Wave, so he needs to bring a Venu. Now here, I thought he might try to scout for the Z move, so I wanted to maybe click Focus Blast, predicting Heatran coming, or maybe even Aloe, because he'd probably just sack off Aloe, honestly. Maybe Heatran, but I thought maybe he'll scout, but I think the play I need to make to keep me in this game is assuming he doesn't switch, and that he doesn't think of it, or that he doesn't think it'll kill, and I just need to go for it. So I'm going for the Z move here. I'm going to whip it out. Inferno Overdrive, here we go. And we knock out the Mega Venusaur. I realized I was kind of smiling a little bit early. I wanted to wait and make that a little more suspenseful. But we knock out the Venusaur. That is a huge play, as that brings me back in the game. So Lele comes in, because I'm in Blaze. We know he's not Scarfed. I can just knock him out with a Flamethrower right here, as he's going to go right into Tran with the Flamethrower. I mean, that's whatever. He gets a Flash Fire. It's whatever. So I'm just going to click Focus Blast right here, as I actually miss, so that's kind of unfortunate right there, as he lands the Magnum Storm and knocks me out. So that's kind of unfortunate. You know, I could be super salty and then just pout, but I mean, it is partially my fault. I mean, I did bring Focus Blast. I think I kind of had to in the matchup and with the team I was bringing, so I don't blame myself for bringing Focus Blast, but I did make the conscious choice to bring Focus Blast, being well knowledgeable of the risk of it missing in a key situation like that. So if I landed the blast, then Heatran goes down, but I mean, I didn't, and you know, a Focus Blast is a risky move. That's why it's kind of bad sometimes. You know, it's not like all my fault, because I mean, I can't control if it hits or not. I will say it is partially my fault, though, because I did bring Focus Blast. I put myself in the position to potentially get hacked because I brought Focus Blast, so that's how that goes. But I can still win this game. I can still actually bring this back, because Crocodile plus Metagross is pretty scary, and my Metagross can still take a hit from Cart. So if I can do that, then if Cart is Scarf and locked into Knockoff, I do have a chance, because then Crocodile can actually kind of take that on, and I just need help with getting one Hammer Arm on that. So I'm just going to bring my Crook right here. I kind of have to. Metagross can't check this super effectively, so well, I mean, it has a super effective move, but I mean, like, it's not a very effective check. So he just scouts just to get lefties or whatever, but he's just going to go down the following turn. So we knock out the Heatran, as in comes the Aloe. So I'm just going to go for Earthquake, as I don't really have anything else. He could just Wish, try to stall me out, but he just goes for Liquidation, gets off good chunk of damage on these. I'm just going to click Earthquake again, knock out the Lele. So, okay, so we're down to 3-2, but I mean, Pidgeot's going to go down to Rock. So here is the situation we're in. I think it's a Scarf Cart. I think in all of my mocks, Kartana was Scarfed, and it makes a lot of sense for me to be Scarfed to outspeed my Mega Pidgeot. So it's probably Scarfed, I'm hoping, at least, because that will actually help me here, as it outspeeds all my Mons anyways. Well, not Pidgeot, but Pidgeot goes down to Rocks, so whatever. So my play here is I need to sack off Pidgeot, which will go down to the Rocks, meaning Kartana will not get a Beast Boost, and if he's not Scarfing and click Sword Stance, then yikes, but he's not, or, well, yeah, but he did not click Sword Stance, so either way, we're fine. So I bring a Metagross here, which does have Colbur, so I'm just going to go right for the Hammer Arm. He might try to predict a Hidden Power Fire, or a Hammer Arm go right into the Aloe. I just have to go for Hammer Arm, either way, this is my play I have to make. As he does go into Aloe, I do a decent chunk, but he's actually Rocky Helmet, which is annoying, so I'm actually minus speed now, which means that he's going to be able to hit me first, get off a Liquidation, maybe throw up a Wish, but I can still knock him out with a Zen, so not a huge deal. As he goes for Liquidation, gets off some more Chip, I go for Zen, knock him out, but I take more Rocky Helmet, which is annoying. So at this point, Knockoff is a roll. I forget whose favor was in. I think it might have been slightly in his favor to kill, but I'm not certain. I think it was right around in the middle, so I am Colbur, so I at least have a chance of taking this Knockoff, so I mean, I just have to stay in and hope I can live it. There's no other play. I gotta go for Hammer Arm right here, as he does go for Knockoff, and I do live, so I go for Hammer Arm, I land, we get off a good chunk. So I have to sack off, or yeah, Drain goes down, so I click BP. A crit might have killed, I guess. I could, probably not, but maybe if I got a high enough roll. I mean, it doesn't matter, I just clicked it, because why not? Maybe if he had less bulk than I thought, or I don't know. It wasn't killing, but I mean, there's nothing else I could do in that situation either way, so it's whatever. I guess if he had Roost, that could have been bad, but I mean, and maybe I should have Hammer Arm, but I mean, he didn't have Roost. He seemed like he was Scarf, so whatever. He just goes for Knockoff, knocks me out, as I have to bring in Crook. It's my last mon, obviously. So here's the position we are in. So it seems like this thing is Scarfed. I'm not certain yet, but it appears that it is, which means he's going to be locked in knockoff. And I should be able to live a knockoff, I think. So I'm at, not exactly 28 because Showdown lies. I was at 27.4 right here. So if I recall correctly, the calc, I'm actually going to pull up the calc over here, sorry, just because it does come into play. The calc said that it does 27.3 max. So I should be able to live as knockoff if he is scarfed and locked in knockoff. If he's not, then he just clicks Leaf Blade, and even though I do still have my Rendo, he's at neutral, so he knocks me out. So I just have to click a knockoff or Earthquake, doesn't matter. So I should be able to live a knockoff if he goes for that, but if he clicks Leaf Blade, then I die. So he clicks knockoff, he's scarfed, and I die. So down goes Crook, and that is a good game to Merc. So we lose in a very, very, very narrow 1-0. GG to Merc. I can't really be upset with that loss. A little bit of hacks came into play because I think that was a max roll he got, but I mean, I can't be too upset, not going to complain. It's Pokemon, it's whatever. It is an uncontrollable factor, so it's whatever, and I have been pretty lucky in the past. I mean, I can't even really complain, but that was still a very good game. If I do want to lose, I want it to be in a very close game like that, and I think that was a very competitive game, and I think I did a good job of bringing that back after, Keytrain was just such a big issue to my team early in the game, in the early and middle game, but I was able to find the situation to bring in Ape and be a big threat, because I know Ape was just very scared of his team, and I was able to use that very well. I think Ape picked up 2 or 3 kills in this game, I forget exactly, but I put myself in a position to maybe win. I didn't quite get the roll, but sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, and that's just Pokemon. That's just life too. So either way, good game to Merc though. He's now 2-0, as he proudly stated in the chat, which has now become a meme. So didn't take long for that to happen. But good game though, bro. Next week we do play Ace of Base. That's not his name. Ace of Bass, the boy. So shout out to him. He's pretty cool. I've never played him before. This is my 3rd game against Merc, all in the NPL. Actually, no, I think one was in the... I had one in like the first March Madness tournament, I think, and I lost it. So I'm now 1-3 versus Merc overall, so sad times. But either way, GG to Merc, as I said, about 5 times. Next week I play Ace. He's 1-1 as well, so that'll be another game which... that'll be my 3rd game in a row in which my opponent has the same record as me, so that will be interesting. But I will see you guys next week, next Saturday, with that battle versus Ace, and yeah, peace out. Alright guys, so actually the video is not over just yet. I just wanted to show you guys the calc real quick, just so you guys can see, and also why I was a little bit confused when I was talking about that at the end of the battle there. So as you can see, knock off from a +1, but intimidated, so just really neutral. Kartana does 23.3 to 27.3. I was at 27.4, so that's why I was confused. He was not adamant because he needed, or for my Metagross to live, he needed to be Jolly. So if he was adamant, he would have knocked out Metagross. So he was not adamant, he was Jolly. So what I think happened was just there's like a small translation error, I suppose, between Pokemon Showdown, or I guess Battle Area, and the damage calc, just with like some small decimals, and like this was really 27.34 or something, and Pokemon Showdown, or I guess Battle Area had me at like 27.34 or something like that, maybe rounded up to 27.4, or maybe 27.35, something around there, some small decimals that weren't shown in my percentage of health on BA or on the calc on the damage calc here. So just like a little decimal error, I suppose, just with the translation from the 2 codes. So it just with how specific the decimals go. But I mean, that's whatever. So it seems like he got either a max or probably max roll, maybe just very high roll, but it seems max. So it's whatever though. It's Pokemon. I can't be too upset. Merc still brought a very good team and played very well. So I can't be mad at Merc for anything. And this is still a good game. And I mean, I also missed the Focus Blast, and I could be salty and complain a lot about that. But as I said earlier, I put myself in the position by bringing Focus Blast, so I knew the risk, and I increased the chance of hacks negatively impacting me. So that's just how that goes, and you just have to be more aware of risks, I suppose, and try to calculate them a little bit better. But I mean, either way, I do still think Focus Blast was the right bring on Ape, given the matchup and given how I wanted to approach it. So I do not regret that, but I just it's Pokemon. Sometimes things work out, sometimes things don't. That's basically the way to put it. And I can't be upset. This is still a very fun game, very good game. I think people did enjoy watching it. So there's still good performance on both ends, I think. And next week, I just got to come back and hopefully beat Ace. So this will actually be the outro. I'll see you guys next Saturday versus Ace. Peace.